Hello, in today's episode, I will take a look at the housing demand, what is causing the skyrocketing prices, the reason why National Association of Home Builders confidence fell, March 2021 mortgage delinquency compared to a year ago, and finally, the increase in the home equity we have ever seen since the Great Recession. My name is Rupa Nampalli, Realtor with Remax One. Hope you will stay tuned for this week's market update. Demand is strong and buyers are actively searching for homes to purchase. In the Realtors Confidence Index survey published monthly by National Association of Realtors, buyer traffic is considered very strong in almost every state. Home buyers aren't just great in numbers right now, they are also determined to find their dream home. NAR shows the average home for sale today receives 5 offers from hopeful buyers. These increasingly frequent bidding wars can drive up the price of your house, which is why high demand from competitive home buyers is such a win for the summer sellers. According to Daniel Hill, chief economist at Realtor.com, states that for most sellers, listing sooner than later could really pay off with less competition from other sellers and potentially a higher sales price. They'll also avoid some big unknowns lurking later in the year, namely another possible surge in COVID cases, rising interest rates, and potential for more sellers to enter the market. NAR also reveals the unsold inventory sits at 2.4 months supply at the current sales pace. This is far lower than the historical norm of 6.6 months supply. Homes are essentially selling as fast as they are hitting the market. This graph shows the existing inventory of single-family homes for sale. The U.S. Census Bureau and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development jointly announced the following new residential sales statistics for April 2021. The seasonally adjusted estimate of new houses for sale at the end of April was 316,000. This represents a supply of 4.4 months at current sales rate. Home builder confidence fell to its lowest level since August 2020, according to the latest data from National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo Housing Market Index report. Chuck Falk of National Association of Home Builders chairman said in a statement that rising material prices and supply chain shortages, especially the declining availability of softwood lumber and other building materials, contributed to the confidence falling 2 points to 81 for newly built single-family homes in June. These higher costs have moved some new homes beyond the budget of prospective buyers, which have slowed the strong pace of home building. Policymakers need to focus on supply chain issues in order to allow the economic recovery to continue. The effects of skyrocketing lumber prices have reached the far corners of the home building industry, hindering everything from appliances and basic material prices to shipping times. Robert Dietz, chief economist of National Association of Home Builders, noted these supply constraints are resulting in insufficient appraisals and making it more difficult for builders to access construction loans. And while builders have adopted a variety of business strategies, including price escalation clauses to deal with scarce building materials, labor, and lots, unavoidable increases for new home prices are pushing some buyers to the sidelines. CoreLogic's Loan Performance Insights reports found that March's mortgage delinquency rate was at its lowest point since the pandemic-driven economic upheaval began approximately 1 year ago. Frank Nothaft, CoreLogic's chief economist, stated in a press release, many forces came together in March to yield the largest one-month improvement in overall delinquency rate since the pandemic started. In addition to continued government support, including stimulus payments and mortgage forbearances programs, The U.S. economy added 700,000 jobs in March, the largest increase since August 2020. According to Frank Martrell, CEO and president of CoreLogic, said in a statement, homeowners are catching up on their debt as the economic effects of the pandemic begin to wane, which is yet another sign of moving forward motion on the road to overall recovery. The housing market is so hot that some homeowners have become afraid to sell. In more normal, first-time home buyers move into starter homes. As their families grow, they upgrade to bigger houses. Eventually, empty nesters and retirees sell their larger homes to downsize or relocate. Now, record high prices are disrupting the usual churn. Plenty of households could sell their homes for big profit, but then they would have to find a new place to live. Many are unwilling to compete in the frenzied housing market where they could be subjected to the fierce and costly bidding wars that have become a commonplace across the U.S. The fear of failing to find a new residence is the latest reason homeowners are staying in their homes longer than they did in the past. Many baby boomers are choosing to delay retirement or age in place. And now, some young families who want to trade up worry they have been priced out of their neighborhoods. With so many homeowners staying put, U.S. housing inventory has really been tighter. The number of existing homes on the market at the end of April was down 20.5% from a year earlier, and the number of homes for sale fell to a record lows earlier this year. Debt scarcity has helped lift home prices to all-time highs and has started to slow down the pace of sales. Pinched supply is a big reason why economists expect home prices to rise, making home ownership expensive for many buyers. Part of the homeowner's dilemma is the timing of dual transactions. Many families need to sell their current home before they can afford to buy a new one. In a less heated market, buyers can make an offer on a home that is contingent upon selling their current home. But sellers today often receive multiple bids, and those with contingency clauses are unlikely to be accepted. The supply shortage is especially acute at lower price points. The inventory of existing homes on the market priced between $100,000 and $250,000 slid more than 30% in April from a year ago. NAR said while the supply of homes for sale above 500 rose. According to CoreLogic, the feverish home buying of the past year led to the skyrocketing values and the largest amount of owner equity in at least a decade. On an annual basis, homeowners with mortgage collectively compiled over $1.92 trillion in equity in the first quarter of 2021, good for an average gain of $33,403 per borrower. These compared to $1.58 trillion and $26,512 the prior quarter and $665 billion and $12,188 a year ago. The growth also dropped the negative equity share by 24% annually to the lowest rate since 2009. Homeowner equity has more than doubled over the past decade and has become a crucial buffer for many weathering the challenges of this pandemic. These gains have become an important financial tool and boosted consumer confidence in the U.S. housing market, especially for the older homeowners and the baby boomers who have experienced years of price appreciation. Frank Martrell, President and CEO of CoreLogic, said in the report. In short, there is a domino effect with the rising home building materials, lagging time with the shipments, etc., causing home builders' confidence to fall for the first time since August 2020. The home prices have skyrocketed and there is equity in the home. Most home sales have dual transactions. It's like a double-edged sword. Sellers are not willing to accept the contingent offers and forcing the current homeowners to stay put. Mortgage delinquencies are falling. March 2021 has been the greatest drop since last year. If you are in the market to buy or sell, please give me a call at 732-397-9185 and together we can come up with a plan to sell your home. Have a nice week ahead.